Hello, it's Hedgehog here, and welcome to a very fun little video today where I'm going to be unboxing this package right here from Amazon, and in this package is something very exciting that I've been really looking forward to being able to add to my collection. Two movies that I am absolutely obsessed with right now, and I absolutely cannot wait. But first, I just want to say, how are y'all doing? It's been a while since I've been in front of the camera. How was your Christmas? I hope it was good. Mine was actually pretty damn great this year. My dad got me Jonathan, my mom got me Lisa, and my two parents together got me my absolute favorite thing ever, my brand new knife that I finally get to show you guys. Look at this. It is an OTF switchblade and is the absolute coolest thing ever, and yeah, I love it so freaking much. It is so freaking amazing. I cannot recommend it enough. They are kind of pricey, but I 100% think it's worth it. These things are so awesome. I've had it for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days at this point, and I've had literally zero problems with it whatsoever. It works flawlessly. I love it so freaking much. Yeah, but this is something super excited. Super exciting. We'll talk about it as soon as I show it to you, but first, we're just gonna open up the Amazon package here. But I want you guys to get my full reaction, my full, like, first-hand reaction to it when we pull it out here. I'm so excited. Oh my god, it looks so beautiful already. This is the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie 4K Steelbook collection. Oh my god, I'm so excited about this. So, before we start talking about these wonderful movies, I would like to very briefly say that I have never actually been a huge fan of the Sonic franchise. Obviously, me being a person of my generation, obviously I grew up with a few of the Sonic games. I played them when I was a kid, but in all honesty, I've never actually thoroughly enjoyed a Sonic game. I've always thought they were incredibly mediocre. Like, I always thought his games were just so linear and unfun. Like, you just kind of do the same thing. You're just kind of going in one linear level and occasionally jumping, and sometimes there's some other gimmick thrown in there or whatever. It's just, I don't really think it's all that fun. I didn't think the character was all that fun. I didn't think the game was all that fun. I didn't like the villain, Eggman. I've never been a fan of this franchise. I don't really have any real, like, nostalgia for this series whatsoever. So obviously I didn't really give a shit about these movies when they were coming out, when they were getting all hyped up, because they are as great as they are, spoiler alert. I didn't have a, yeah, obviously I wasn't aboard the hype train, especially, you know, there was the whole crazy thing with the first movie where the first trailer came out with the horrible first design, and they had to go back to the drawing board and redo it, which definitely was a very good choice. Oh man, but a couple of weeks ago I was just looking for something to watch, and I literally went to my little what to watch thing that my TV has, and I saw the first movie available on Paramount Plus, and I was like, fuck it, why not? Let's check it out. Let's see if it's any fun. And I had such a fucking blast with that movie. And with that, we're going to jump into this right here. So this is the 2-movie 4K Steelbook collection. I know a lot of you are going to be like, DK, why would you buy this? The third movie's coming out this year, and as soon as that comes out, there's going to be a brand new awesome box set. And I'm like, yes, I know, but that's like basically a year away. So, and I didn't want to wait. I wanted this. I thought it looked awesome. So regardless, we'll just see what happens. And it's only $30 if you want this set. It's only $30 for 2 Steelbooks. Normally, a Steelbook alone would be $30 on its own, so that is an amazing deal in my opinion. Well worth the price, so I am super excited about this regardless. And the Steelbooks look really nice too. We'll look at them in depth in this video, but let's go ahead and take off the cellophane here. That's the word, right? For the plastic wrap around it. I think it's called a cellophane. I've actually never fully known if that's actually what it's called, but we're gonna pretend like I do know it and that I'm smart. Oh my god, this knife is the best thing ever, man. Like, how does it do that? How does the magic? It's so freaking amazing. Like, I understand how it does that. It just springs in like an elevator type thing. How the fuck does it do that though? What allows it to push back into the knife at like massive speed? I don't get it. It's amazing though. Oh my god, this is actually so freaking nice. So I will say right off the bat that my personal copy does have a bit of like a dent at the bottom here, but actually, after taking the plastic wrap off, it actually seems to have worked itself out, which is nice. I was a little bit disappointed about that when I first took it out. I already have a spot picked out on my shelf for this, so let's just see how it fits in there and see how it looks. There we go. That looks pretty good. How does the other way look? I think I like that way maybe a little bit better, but I'll decide that on my own time. But let's take a look at the actual outer box real quick. So you have this awesome picture of Sonic right there. There he is, the 2 movie collection. There's the nice side artwork right there, and then you have the 2 steelbooks peeking out right there. There's the top. The spine probably could have been a little bit nicer. It just kind of shows the 2 things right there. Hopefully when the 3rd movie comes out, if they make another box set, they will make the spine a little bit nicer, because that's what you're gonna see 99% of the time is the spine. The spines on these look pretty good though, so I might just leave it like this. Or if you wanted to, you could just take the steelbooks out of the box set entirely. So it's not a big deal. And again, it's only a $30 box set, which is, again, pretty fucking insane if you ask me, especially when you factor in that both of these steelbooks are 4K steelbooks that also come with a Blu-ray copy as well. So yeah, I think that's a pretty amazing deal in my personal opinion. But I think the box set is pretty nice. The quality of the outer box is a little bit weak. I'm actually going to take the steelbooks out real quick, and we're just going to talk about this real quick, because the weight of the steelbooks is kind of throwing off the quality of this thing a little bit. It's definitely not like the most glamorous thing ever. It's a perfectly like acceptable little box, but like if I compare this to something like my Breaking Bad box set, far higher quality cardboard or plastic pieces, like, yeah, this is definitely a cheap box set, and it definitely feels like that. But again, you could very easily, for the price that you're getting this in, you could very easily just kind of recycle this and just have the 2 steelbooks on your shelf right here. And with that, let's go ahead and just stick this on the Blu-ray shelf behind me right there and start talking about the steelbooks and the movies right here. So let's start off with the first one, of course. This one, I actually still don't know which one is my favorite. I love them both so much. I think they are both so damn great. But at the moment, I am kind of leaning towards this one being my favorite, because this movie, I have watched this movie so many goddamn times since the first time I watched it, because it is just an absolute fucking blast. This whole movie is like just so much fun from beginning to end. And it really just blew my mind that a Sonic movie managed to be a movie that I like thoroughly actually enjoyed. Because again, I have zero nostalgia for the franchise, but I honestly think they just did a really great job in pretty much every department with this movie. I really liked Ben Schwartz as Sonic. Jim Carrey obviously knocked it out of the park as Eggman. He literally made the character like actually entertaining, actually fun and memorable. Like, I don't think I've ever given less of a shit about that other than like the memes. Sonic does have great memes. No one can take that away from it. But yes, Eggman, he's always been a character that I've just been like, that is such a pathetic villain in my opinion. But Jim Carrey literally like changed that single-handedly. I still think the game version is pretty damn boring and stupid, but Jim Carrey's version was instantly iconic. Like, honestly, I mean, I know it is kind of just Jim Carrey as the character, like basically just being Jim Carrey in the outfit of the character, but I still thought he just knocked out of the park. Your eyes are glued to the screen every single second that he's on screen. In this movie in particular, there are so many standout scenes with him, like one when he does this like little dance move in his tank and the lights are going crazy. It was so damn fun to watch. I look forward to it every single time I watch the movie. And just beginning to end, the movie is so great because you literally basically have Sonic and James Marsden's character, who I also absolutely loved, by the way. I love James Marsden. That guy is a great actor, deserves more love, and yeah, but I actually liked his character a lot as well, the Donut Lord. And the movie basically it kicks off with those two characters basically becoming like wanted fugitives, and then it's this like insane chase movie where Robotnik is trying to chase them down and essentially kill them. So it's intense as hell, it's ridiculously fun, and it's pretty much just all out from beginning to end. There's like a few like fun little bullshit sequences that are probably just there to, you know, make the kids happy or whatever, but even those I thought were really fun. And then when you actually get the big sequences, like this massive battle of where they're on the road and Robotnik throws this giant car out that just keeps like shit like shrinking down, like one gets destroyed and another one comes out. It goes on for like 10 minutes straight. It is absolutely awesome. I am blown away by how great this movie is. And then you get to the final chase, and it's just, oh my god, it's so damn great. I mean, this movie is pretty old at this point. Well, not old. It came out a few years ago when it was very hyped up. So if you care about it, I'm sure you've watched it by now. I'm sure you don't care about spoilers. But I just love it. I love it to death. I think it's freaking amazing. And it is probably my favorite of the two because I do think it is slightly more rewatchable than the second one, which we will talk about in just a minute here. But going from that into the Steelbook, I will say that the cheapness of this box set does show through in these Steelbooks. Like, if I compare this Steelbook to, once again, my El Camino Breaking Bad Steelbook, it is a significantly thinner Steelbook. You can definitely feel a big quality difference right here. But again, you're getting two Steelbooks essentially for the price of one. So I don't think you can be too mad, but like, if I compare this to literally like any Steelbook in my collection, was another Steelbook here. Here's the Silent Voice Steelbook. Yeah, immediately, as soon as you pick this up, this feels cheap and hollow, and this feels super nice and premium. So I will admit that I'm a little bit disappointed in that. And I would totally have been willing to pay more for a nicer feeling Steelbook. Like, you buy Steelbooks because you want a premium release of the movie, because you love the movie or the show or whatever it is. And yes, this does feel a little bit cheaper than what you're used to, but the artwork is nice. You've got a nice picture of Sonic right there and Jim Carrey's Eggman on the back right there. So it's a pretty nice Steelbook. I like it, and I mean, it looks nice. I have no problem with the way it looks. It's just the way it feels that I kind of don't love. Like, you can kind of, like, you can literally, like, see, you can kind of see it literally, like bend in when I actually push it. Well, not like actually bend, but like the layer of the Steelbook and the actual inner plastic material right here, you can kind of feel the thinness of the metal, and it just, yeah, it doesn't feel too great. But on the other hand of that, you do open it up and you do get your Blu-ray and your 4K right there, and an awesome picture of Sonic right there looking absolutely awesome. Yeah, it's pretty darn nice. I don't, aside from the quality of it, I don't really have any complaints whatsoever. Again, I do like the artwork. I guess it is a little bit simplistic, but that's never really not been the case for Steelbooks. They're always rather simplistic. It's just kind of how they have to be in order to have, like, the material, and I just love them. You guys know it. I literally have a whole series called A Sucker for Steelbooks, so you know how much I love Steelbooks, but it's very nice. I think I am probably just gonna put these on my shelf just as the Steelbooks. I am probably gonna just like stick this in storage or whatever, because I mean, it's okay, but I don't think it really adds anything to the shelf. Like, you just have a few pictures of Sonic right there. I don't know, I'm probably just gonna stick this in storage and just have the Steelbooks on my shelf, and then maybe when the third movie comes out, I can just get the Steelbook and have all three of them. I'd be totally fine with that. But with that, let's go ahead and put the first movie down and talk about the second movie. Ooh, this one actually feels a little bit higher quality. I actually think this one, yeah, this actually feels a lot more like a standard Steelbook, which is nice. Still, my El Camino one is still like a little bit heavier, a little bit nicer feeling, but this is definitely a step up from the first one, for sure. Maybe there's another disc in here. Almost dropped it, but not quite. Nope, no more discs, so it is just a nicer Steelbook overall, which is really, really nice, and yeah, I do appreciate that. This one does feel really, really nice. Okay, let's talk about this movie. First of all, I will say that this Steelbook is also a lot nicer in terms of the artwork, because this one's actually not super simplistic. I already know that this picture right here that they have on the cover right here, this is actually recreating like one of the Sonic game posters, but with the live action characters, which is very, very, very cool. I really like this picture. Yeah, it's really cool. You have the Chaos Emerald beam in the back, you have Jim Carrey back there, and Tails and Sonic right there, and then on the back you have Knuckles and Sonic clashing right there, which is really cool. Yeah, this Steelbook is actually very, very nice. The first one was a little bit underwhelming. This one is actually very, very nice. I'd actually say this is pretty close to a typical Steelbook quality that you would expect. But now let's talk about the movie right here. I had a lot of hype for this after falling in love with the first one. As soon as I finished the first one, I wanted to jump straight into the second one, but I did wait a day and then jumped into it, and I was absolutely not disappointed whatsoever. And the first time I watched it, I absolutely thought it was my favorite of the two. But since rewatching this one a few times and the first one a few times, I don't know. I am leaning more towards saying the first one is my favorite just because it's so rewatchable. It's such a blast of a movie. This one is a lot more of your typical Hollywood blockbuster epic. And in some ways that's great, and we'll talk about that. But in some ways, it also definitely feels like that. There's some Marvel MCU type humor in here, and there is quite a few scenes that are pretty pointless in the grand scheme of things, but even though I do think there is a few scenes, like the first half of the movie is honestly like mostly just a bunch of bullshit. It honestly is just kind of a bunch of meandering to get to the thing that you're actually there for. But once you get to the thing you're actually there for, I feel like it pulls it off with flying colors, which we will talk about that in just a second. But even though the first half is kind of a bunch of bullshit, I honestly still have fun with it. I do, because I really like the characters in general. I love James Marsden's character, I love Sonic, and this movie actually solidified Tails as my favorite character of the franchise. Oh my god, he is the cutest thing ever. I love him so much. So, yes, I really loved Tails in the movie, and Knuckles was fun as well. I didn't like him as much as Tails, but I thought Idris Elba's performance of him was very good, and honestly, after hearing his performance, I don't think I'd ever be able to like another performance of him by anybody else. So, yeah, that is the thing. But, yes, they did a great job on that, and I do really love how this movie starts as well. It actually starts off pretty damn huge. Like, you pretty much pick up right where, well, not exactly, it has been a little bit, but, like, it's pretty all-out action at first, and then it kind of dies down after a bit, and you get a few kind of meaningless scenes, a few scenes that definitely feel like they were put in there to like please the kids in the crowd, kind of. But even with that said, I still kind of enjoyed them. Like the Pivonka scene, it's stupid, but I thought it was kind of fun, honestly. I thought it was kind of fun. I enjoy it. It's okay. And then the wedding scene as well, you know, it's kind of like cringy Hollywood stuff, but still kind of fun and enjoyable. And again, I like the characters, so I don't hate it that much. I can still watch it perfectly fine when I watch this. I wouldn't like skip the scene or anything like that. But with that being said, once you get through that first half of this movie, holy crap, you get to the second half of this movie, the final act or whatever, and you literally have like a live action adaptation of like a final boss in a Sonic game. It is insane, and I'm not even nostalgic for these games. And yet, the first time I watched this movie and I watched the end of this, I was in utter, like, awe from beginning to end. As soon as Eggman will... Okay, fine, I'll give a little spoiler warning right here because we're going to talk about the ending of the movie. But in all honesty, it's literally like, I'm basically just going to explain what happens in a Sonic game, in literally any Sonic game right now. So, you've been warned about spoilers if you haven't seen the movie yet. But essentially, when you get to the second half of this movie, Jim Carrey's Eggman gets the Chaos Emerald, and he's basically God, basically, for like the final half. And he literally makes this fucking kaiju-sized mech, just like in a Sonic game. And you have Tails in an airplane circling him around him, trying to find weak points. You have Sonic and Knuckles attacking him from the bottom. It's insane. It literally feels like they took a final climax of a Sonic game, a classic Sonic final battle, and just adapted it into live action and just made it just as epic as something like Avengers Endgame. Like, there's so many shots in the final act of this that are just... they are absolutely insane the first time you watch them. Like, there's this one when he knocks down Sonic for a bit, and like the dust clears, and he's like getting up, and you literally see like the fucking Eggman mech like rise up from the back of the like dust in the back, and it looks insane. It's absolutely incredible. And yeah, I cannot say it loud enough. They pulled off the final act of this movie. It honestly saves the entire movie, honestly. Like, again, the first half, there's some greatness, but there's also quite a bit of meandering and quite a bit of things that do feel kind of like, you know, manufactured Hollywood bullshit, but still entertaining at the same time. But then you get to that final act, and it is pretty much just epic from beginning to end as soon as you get to like the halfway point of the movie. And, yeah, it's, I love it. I absolutely love it. Like I said, the first time I watched it, I did think this was my favorite of the two, but after the rewatches, I do think I would say the first one's my favorite just because it's far more rewatchable. I've already watched this one like 4 times as opposed to this one, which I think I've only watched like twice or 3 times. The first one is just so damn fun from beginning to end. This one, it's got some cringy scenes. It's got some kind of, it does kind of feel like a modern Hollywood movie where, I don't know, there's like a bunch of bullshit in it. And the CGI is very good though, I will say that. But as soon as you get to that final act, I think it's worth it. But the thing is, this movie's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think. And you definitely feel that after a while. You're like, good Lord, this movie is long. I mean, once you get to the final act, you're pretty much just on cloud 9 from beginning to end when it comes to the second half of the movie. But it is still a very long movie, so it's not as rewatchable as the first one. And again, the first one is just so easily digestible. You basically literally just have two friends who like come up, who like this blossoming friendship, just running away from this insane enemy basically, who's played by Jim Carrey. Like, how is that not gonna be great? It's just such an easily digestible, awesome movie. I can't recommend it enough. This is far more of a like Sonic direct movie adaptation, which is why I totally saw as soon as I watched this movie, like, I totally understood why so many people said that this was like, this is the movie that broke the curse, that this is like the first legitimately great video game adaptation, because it is. The second half of this movie is literally a straight adaptation of the classic Sonic formula, and it's perfect. It is absolutely fucking flawless. But, you know, it's not as easily digestible. It's way more of like your typical like blockbuster. So that's my thoughts on the second one. I absolutely love it. Again, I absolutely love it. If I were to give these movies ratings, I would give the first one an S, and I'd probably give this one an S too. And absolutely an S too. Even if the first one is my favorite, it's not my favorite by a lot over this one. This is still a freaking awesome movie, and just about everything about these movies I pretty much loved. So there you have it. I hope this video was fun. I hope some people got some enjoyment out of this. I certainly did. I've been really wanting to just let loose about how much I loved these movies, because I've literally like, I got to talk with it. I got to talk to my dad with it because at Christmas we actually watched them together and he loved them. So I did get to talk to my dad about it, but other than that, I haven't really gotten to talk to anybody about it, so it was really fun for me to sit down and just gush about how much I love these, and I cannot wait for the third one. I absolutely cannot wait. It is absolutely my most hyped movie right now, so there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like and subscribe for some more content, and this is DK Guillotine, signing out.